Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this video I have been planning for a little time, and I'm going to be very quick in this video because I have so many recommendations of billionaire romance. These books are super spicy. So if like I'm giving a warning because earlier my channel has got warnings for this particular reason. So I'm giving warning. Stop the video right now if you do not want to go into all that stuff, the spicy stuff. But if you are interested in those kind of book, keep on watching. You will not be disappointed by the book recommendations, I am sure. So the first book that I have for all of you is 50 Shades of Grey. Now, when I think about billionaire romance and all that, first book that comes to my mind is 50 Shades of Grey. Now, there are three books in this series, which are, there were originally three books in this series, a trilogy, which are written from the point of view of Anastasia. And then there are three books in the series, which are written, same books in the series, but they're from the point of view of Christian. Now, this is a story where, there's a girl named Anastasia. She goes for an interview in, place of her friend because her friend has some work, and then she goes to take the interview of Christian, who has a kind of a fetish for a particular kind of girls. Um, and Anna fits in that category, and you see there's an interview scene which is very famous. Now if you already watched the movie, but a lot about it. I would say if you have watched the movie, go and read the book because the book has so much more details and so many more extra scenes and everything. You're gonna definitely love it. Now to the span of the three books, their relationship, the character of Christian especially, develops very much. He is into BDSM and does not do relationship, but for Anna, things change. She is that girl, and you see their relationship build up, but also there are so many other factors which creep into because of Christians had a really tough, torturous past, which sometimes cost them their it's at the stake of their relationship. And there are also other characters like Jack Hyde in one of the second book, where he's the boss of Anna, and he's like kind of obsessed with her, but he also has a backstory which relates him to Christian. So it's a super complicated, super spicy book. So I think you should definitely, like, the first book that comes to my mind when I listen to this category is this one. The second book that I want to talk to you all about is Bared to You by Sylvia Day. Now, it's a big series. It has five books. And, even after the five books, you feel like, like during the period of five books, you're learning what happens in their life every day because they are really fat books and like five books in the series. So you get a lot like insight into their life, but at the end of the sixth book you feel like, oh, I could have read a little bit more. It's like that. And this book is similar to that of the previous one which I talked about, 50 Shades. Now in this book, the dynamics change. There she went for an interview, here she works under him. There are many branches. He's the head of the company, the Cross, I think Cross Enterprise or something, and his name is Gideon. And you know he is the owner, the billionaire or the millionaire, whatever. And there's one of the departments who under which she works, and they meet for the very first time on her first day of work. And he's one of those guys who goes into research and gets all the information about the girl, and they are super complicated, the character. Now if I have to compare between both the books, the 50 Shades and Crossfire, I would choose Crossfire because the characters are more strong here. Anna did not have a lot of backstory in 50 Shades, but here both the characters, they have so much of backlog, or like pressure, baggage, and it makes the book so much more complicated. And at a point I realized, like, I read this book around like some 3 years ago, I guess. It's a 2012 publishing. So there was a point where the author makes it very, like, she makes it a point to let her readers know that going to therapy, having a fucked up life, like, having a fucked up life, it's okay, but it's how you get out of it, how you deal with the aftermath. And like, going to therapy, it's all normal, it's all good. I know these concepts have now become like really okay, but like 10 years back in 2012, when this book was published, it was a big deal for the people who read that time. It was, that was a time when people started actually accepting these things, in short. So I really like it, and it's a 5-book series, so you got a whole up and down in their life. There's so much of complications, I'm telling you. It's like, for some days you feel like, I'm in their life, I mean, it's just a part of their regular life, and like maybe the coffee sitting on the sitting on the aisle, or maybe the pan hanging in the kitchen, or whatever. But it's a really good book. She has a gay best friend, which is like kind of sometimes like the cliche every girl character has, and then the boyfriend gets jealous. And I really like it. And there's a lot of emphasis of therapy in the previous book series also, which is 50 Shades also. The next book that I have is Beautiful Bastard. The name of the series is also Beautiful Bastard, and the name of the first book in the series is also Beautiful Bastard. It's about, office romance. He's the boss. She is temporarily working as his assistant. And I love the character of Chloe. She is so headstrong. They fight so much. There's so much of spark, fire. Loved it. And they have a group of friends, and then there's a story on each one of them. So it's like kind of books where we read like 4 high school books, like 4 best friends, one each one having a book, kind of like that. I've already made a video of that kind, the high school one. So if you want, you can just go check out. I'll put the link in the description and or the I'll say this particular series, it's spicy. It's a less spicier than 50 Shades and all that, because there's BDSM and all that stuff, which is not here. But I feel like this book had so much of more character, like more to the plot than to that thing, which is obviously so interesting to read. But like it's this book, like this particular series, has more focus on the characters, the plot, and it's a really good build up. I really liked it. The next I have for all of you is Fixed on You, which is by Lauren Page. It's a 3-book series. Now, in this book, what happens is the guy is, a hotshot businessman, super rich, and he sees her for the first time at her graduation, and she actually works, she's the manager or in the HR department at one of the clubs, and he buys that club, and things happen, and he makes her fall in love with her. He has a lot of baggage, she has a lot of baggage. They're trying to work it out, but then there's a woman at the side who's always keeps on creeping into their life, and later she gets to know, which is kind of a spoiler, skip 2 minutes, that it was their plan. That is what they always do. Like, they're like kind of sadists. The guy and the other woman, they were like a team earlier. They used to like make girls fall in love with him and then like leave it just like a competition. It's like an example of sadist, I would say. And but this girl this was going to be the last one, because the guy had probably given up on this, and he was like just doing it like, okay, fine, the last time, because this girl intrigued him. But then he falls in love with her, but when she gets to know all of this, she leaves him, and that part is so heartbreaking and so well written. Really, really love that portion. It's also 3 books in the series. So but obviously at the end things work out, and that lead has got another book on her own. I didn't read it because I didn't feel like reading it, but yeah, definitely if you want, you can read that one as well. But yeah, and after reading these kind of books, you actually get a plot. Like, you understand the plot. The baggage kind of is similar in all the books with a little bit of difference. So like, after reading four of the series, you just get like, okay, fine. You just like kind of predict things like, oh, now this is going to happen. The next book that I have for all of you is This Man by Jodi Ellen Malpas. Now, it's again a 3-book series. Now, in this book, there is age gap romance. He is again rich billionaire, a hotelier or something, and she is actually an interior designer, and her company gets the contract to design, one of his hotels, which is not actually a hotel. It's a hotel, but like, there's also prostitution there. It's like a sex club or something, and there is so much complication between them, but obviously they figure out. But at the like end, she gets to know, oh, he was already married earlier, he's divorced. But like, it's okay if you're divorced, but you need to like tell the other person about all of this, the one person you're sharing your bed with. You need to tell them these details. He didn't. Then she like the three. I'm telling the gist of the 3 books in the series, not just the first book. And then there's a part where she finds she's pregnant, but then a girl props up. There's always another girl at the side. Like, who was the woman before the main girl comes into the picture, and she says she's pregnant, but then she finds out, okay, fine, she was not pregnant. Like, she was pregnant, but it was not his child. And then she never, like, it's so much has happened in their life, and she just doesn't know that her husband has a twin. I mean, her husband was a twin, and the twin died. But there's so much of secrecy. I would give this series like a 2.5 stars, frankly, because it's a little different from the other ones. Yes, the baggage is kind of different here. There is crime, killing. In the 3rd book, apparently, she forgets her memory. It's like, fast forward 12 years into a relationship, she forgets her memory, and then again, she slowly falls in love with him, and she again becomes pregnant, and he's 50 at that time. So yeah, 3rd book was kind of good, but like, if I have to rate the whole series, I don't know. I'm like confused when it comes to reviewing this book. But if you are into a guy, who's super controlling, charming, but also like devastatingly handsome, and like, I think you will like it, I would say. I'll see if I can find the blurb of the book. I'll put it on the screen so that you guys can read it and like, get a better picture of what the book actually is. Next book series that I have is going to be Hardwired by Meredith Wild. Now, this book is, in this book, he's a millionaire, but he's into hacking, like, the computer stuff. Like, he does hacking for good, kind of. And she's also a computer student, wanting funds for her own startup, and that's how they first time actually meet. I like this book a little more than, I would say, This Man, the previous one. This book, the plot was more better, and there was a shooting scene which is my favorite. And the girl does not know who her father is her whole life, and then in the book she finds out who her father is, and there's another different complications, a lot of secrets revealed. This book has 5 this series has 5 books in the series, so it's like you get to be a part of their life in the whole run. Now, after reading these books, you kind of get a gist, as I've already said, of like, oh, these are the 3 possibilities, something out of it's going to happen, and that's what happened. Like, if I'm telling you, if you read all of these books in like order, you will actually after time realize, oh, there's so much common in it, but still you want to read spicy books. So here's all the recommendation. Now the last series I have, with which I'm going to end this video, is going to be by LJ Shen, the Boston Bells series. Now this is actually, it is, yes, billionaire, but like it is not, it has so much of more backstory to it, I would say. There are four books in the series, four friends each getting a book. There are four books: The Hunter, Villain, Monster, and The Rake. Rake recently released, like it published in 2022, while the first one, which is Hunter, it published in 2020. The four books are super super awesome. My favorite is the Villain, the second book in the series. You need to definitely read that. Now these four books, yes, there are rich people falling in love with the poor ones generally, not always, but at the same time I would say there's so much like other things to it. For example, in the first book, which is Hunter, there's a sex tape which releases of the guy, and then he needs to clear his image in the media. So his father hires a girl, who's gonna help doing that, and then that's how he meets her woman. Next book is actually like one of my favorites, as I've already told, The Hunter by LJ Shen. If you have watched my other videos earlier, you already know I've talked about this book earlier in many videos also. Now let me know if you guys want a author-wise video like on LJ Shan, Coolin, who would have already made. Go check it out. Christina Lauren and all that. Just let me know if you want that kind of a video. Yeah, so I was saying in the second book, it's like, he needs to clear his image. He's a CEO, he has everything, but he's this cold-hearted person, and people, he needs to show a softer side in front of the media, so he gets married to a girl. Now what made this book the best for me was the characters were so good, and Persephone is like, she's the one who always finds good in people and does good. She's so fierce, sensible, sweet, and she is such a firm believer in love, which actually touches my heart. But at the end, the climax is so good. He breaks her heart, but then he makes up for it, and it's so 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 good. You definitely need to read this one. So I'm gonna end my video here because I don't want to stretch videos, make it too long. Thank you so much for watching this video. Your love means the world to me. Thank you.